Previously on Critically Stupid.
Fluxen tried to frame us for the murder of that guy. He's no longer my best friend, possibly the bottom five. We escaped the mansion, through the window we flew. My friends and I went home, but there was no floon. The manor's being run by children with skates. More like trolls call miners. Sorry, another pun for you to hate. Tess found a room, she is our new friend. Having a cow roommate was something couldn't comprehend. There's also a lobster, yeah, we've been through a lot. I also found a lock spell and some magic notes I almost forgot. I really need a nap. Just have to remember to draw that map, so we can get that stone back.
Look, if I had the choice, I wouldn't be a fucking person either.
Exactly.
What would you be?
Dead.
I was going to say that, and then I was like, no, Self, too dark, too dark.
Don't worry, Dan, I got you.
Yeah. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Welcome, everybody, to Critically Stupid, where we love suicidal ideation. No, I can't say that.
We love it, though.
Boy,
do it.
We love public meltdowns on Twitter.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to soon-to-be world-famous Dungeons & Dragons real play podcast, Critically Stupid. I'm struggling today. Sorry, guys.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Critically Stupid, soon-to-be world-famous podcast. My name is Alex the DM. My name is Alex the DM, and as the DM, my favorite part of last episode was the Dustin Ego on roller skates, because goddamn if that wasn't an innovative idea, and honestly with a little bit more hand-eye coordination we'd really have something there. Garion, you go next.
Hi, I'm Garion. What are you? What are you? What are you?
Well, I'm a rogue.
You're a rogue. Hi, I'm Garion. I'm a rogue. My favorite part of last episode, it was when I tried to throw a business card and it just like throwing a tissue into the wind. It kind of just like fluttered and fell down. Jess, you go next.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Tess. I play Jess. My name's Jess. I play Tess. I am a cow. And my favorite part of last episode was when a lobster offered to help me find the murderers who killed my family, which normally I don't go for because I'm allergic to shellfish and a vegan. But this guy had a good vibe about it, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Your class is cow.
My class is cow, also druid sometimes, but mostly just cow.
Right.
Anthony, you go next.
Oh, that one's supposed to be. I'm sorry. That's
I don't know what's happening.
Come on,
listener, we did not.
Come on, Anthony, let's go.
Practice this.
Improv.
Listen. I don't even have anything. I'm like, listen, everybody. All right. Hi, my name is Anthony, and I am is Bard the class? I'm not very good at this, obviously.
Oh, you nailed it.
And my favorite part of last episode was I don't listen, this is Dianna and she doesn't remember shit. So I don't know why you think I'd remember something for somebody else. The fact I remembered he was a bard is
really good.
all you're gonna get out of me.
That was good.
My thing was something Alex just said like 5 minutes ago. It's the only reason.
Yeah, but I don't pay attention to Alex.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, honestly, same.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Our listeners are gonna be so confused now.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we start over?
No, we
Okay.
cannot. That's cowardly.
Haha.
Cowardly.
That's offensive.
Nice. I'm Diana. I play Mel, a ranger, and my favorite part of last episode was when no one fucking listened to me again. Just no one, not one time, my whole life.
Even if it didn't happen last episode, it's a pretty good bet.
It's an ongoing issue.
Can you guys hear my mom screaming at whatever sporting event is going on downstairs?
Yes.
No.
Okay, sweet.
But now I kind of wish I could.
I wanna
Diana's
know
just
what she's
choosing
watching.
chaos over here.
Honestly, if there's a lull in the conversation, you might. She's vocal.
What is she
Did she come on the
watching?
podcast?
You know what? She could, hypothetically.
Has she watched any episodes?
She has.
She does think Diana is very.
I was about to
is
say,
very
does
good
she
looking.
also think I'm hot?
But you said also. It was. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was-
All right.
Alex.
I forgot that Alex's mom also thinks that Diana's hot.
I mean, I guess Diana's target demographic is
Moms, yeah.
moms.
I'm
Everyone.
not mad at that.
Everyone.
I'm
is
trying
to-
her target demographic.
I'm trying to fill that mom void in my life.
Oof.
I don't know how to
Cool.
respond to that.
Yeah, I don't have a joke
Oh,
for
I was
that.
gonna make a joke about filling moms. Oh, okay.
Okay,
ahead,
let's
someone else.
let's dive into it. Let's get going. I would love to open really quick on Troll Skull Tavern late at night. I think after closing. I think it's been a busy evening shift. Tess, you are doing something in Troll Skull late at night. What are you doing after a busy night's service? If you were working or helping or investigating or doing whatever you do in the space.
I think she would want to be a host. I think she would want to be a hostess. Do you have a hostess?
We do now.
No, we don't.
Would
She
you
would
be,
like that. I think she would enjoy seating people.
would you be a cow hostess or a person hostess?
Either or.
What a fool.
Am I allowed to be a cow hostess? I think the owners of the tavern might try
I mean,
to make me be
like,
one thing.
We're the
But I
owners,
might-
but
Yeah,
you
it's
could
us.
run it.
We're the
You could run
owners.
it by Garrett. I mean, it's kind of his baby, so I guess it'd be up to him.
I feel
No
yeah. I mean, I
way,
might.
he's the
sue
voice
you
of
if you-
reason here.
It's
I
not
don't
the
think that's
voice
what
of
she
reason.
said.
He's just very passionate about the business.
I
Awesome.
think now that Cerulean, the only other person who kind of gave a shit about our like running business is gone. It's just like all on Gareth's shoulders.
Yeah.
He's gone gray overnight.
He already has white hair, but it's gray now.
Yeah, his goatee is completely white. Looks like Hulk Hogan. Okay, so
brother.
Tess, you are a hostess with the
Mhm.
mostest, and I think you are helping to put the dining room away for the evening. Maybe you're flipping chairs and sweeping, doing that classic thing. And Floon and Gareth are behind the bar. Gareth, I think you are doing the standard close, making sure everything's tidy and good to go. And Floon is doing a very ineffective job of wiping down the bar. He's got a filthy like bar towel in one hand and is sort of like wiping with it, and then there's like a somehow dirtier towel behind it that is also wiping and it's somehow stickier after he's done than it was when he started.
Nice.
All right, Tess. Floon is
an
wiping down the
expert.
bar and sort of like casually asks you, so like,
Cat,
oh yeah, that's Nimbus.
Hi, Nimbus.
I love you.
He can't. He did hear
Can
you.
you pick
Jess.
him up?
Gary, he can't fucking hear you.
Give him
Why
your
can't you-
headphones. Take
can you
off your
pick him up?
headphones and give them to the
If
Yeah,
I
pick
touch
him-
if I touch this cat's belly, he will claw both of my eyes out.
Oh, Oh, Gus likes belly rubs.
Oh, but then Garion won't like you anymore once you're blind.
Damn.
I feel like out of everyone here, I'm by far the closest to actually being blind.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tess.
okay. This is the name of
Floon is wiping down the bar and he casually asks you, so like, bro, like where did Cerulean go, girl?
Don't call me bro. Hi,
Sorry,
nice to
like
meet you.
person, cow. What do you have like a preferred nomenclature that you like dig?
Yeah. It's called she, her. Those are my pronouns. Nice to meet you, by the way. My name's Tess.
Whatever you say, she, her.
Nah, he just apologizes for fucking up your pronouns because like that shit ain't funny.
I love the fact that when I assume Floon was asking for like a nickname similar to bro
or
like
right?
guy or friend.
No, Tess decided she didn't like him.
Hey, fair, legit.
She doesn't trust him at all.
None of us really like him.
Yeah. I think
still think he's
Tess.
my friend.
I think Tess is.
wow.
Tess thinks he's lying about his dad.
Fuck yeah,
and I
he's
think
lying
it's a
about
shitty
that.
thing to lie about. So Tess is real sus. But anyway. Oh yeah. So Cerulean had something she had to do, and it was her priority, and we fully support her in that. And it's not really my place to talk about her business, but it was a family matter, and she had to go.
So she's like here, like in town still?
No, she is not on this plane of existence.
So like, wait, where did she go? What do you mean, like a plane of existence, like a fantasy airplane?
Would you say that you want me to be more Pacific, or?
I mean, if you could be Atlantic, because I'm fully lost in this ocean.
She's underwater. In my world.
Your world.
My world.
She, her. Are you from a different plane?
Yeah, no, I'm not from here. Did you not know that?
Bro, that's so radical. What plane are you from? I don't know any of them, so like, whatever you say, it's gonna be cool as shit.
I'm from the Fey world. Can I ask you if you need help wiping the bar?
No, bro, I got it. Bro, Gareth taught me
really...
the two towel maneuver. And actually, Tess, I think
Go ahead.
Go. No, Gareth, go.
Typically it's done with 2 clean towels, but you're halfway there.
He's just joking. He loves the way I do it. Look at this. And he like puts a hand down, and like when it comes up, there's like strings from the bar. He's like, perfectly clean, bro.
I think Tess is just done, and then I think she just turns around and she just keeps doing what she's doing because she's not she's not in the mood. It was a busy dinner rush. She's not in the mood.
Not in the mood.
Not in the mood.
Let's go, Diana. Okay. I think the door to Troll Skull opens, and immediately
we're closed.
Is what I assume you would hear from Mel's crow's nest perched up on one wall. There is a rope and pulley system that has been rigged so that food and bevies can be sort of trundled up to Mel and her. Pat. And Josh Pat. There's a little basket, specifically Josh Pat size, that I imagine he will outgrow very soon.
We will be changing the basket to continue to accommodate him.
Okay, all right. So you hear a surly "we're closed" float down from the ceiling. And this bearded and cloaked dwarf mutters in a deep-set rumble, "I think you're going to want to take this one."
Disagree.
He removes his hood, and Gareth, you recognize the face of the dwarf that pulled you to the side in the Temple of Gond all of those episodes ago. The one that gave you the scroll of Speak with the Dead.
I remember.
I feel like his voice was a little more gravelly, though, bestie.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is my mic. His voice was so gravelly, my mic didn't pick it up. I sound like I was half dead in that episode.
I'm glad that Diana could not remember what class people were, but she can remember the voice of one NPC that was used one time last season.
Because she gets to roast me for it. So like she's got it in a pocket.
Absolutely true.
He folds his burly forearms, and Gareth, you actually see that he has sort of elaborate tattoos up and down his arms that he didn't have last time you spoke. And he looks at you sort of as a group. I imagine you're all there. Arnold, what would you be doing in this sort of scenario with everybody?
You're saying we just closed down? I'm probably just like retuning my instruments and preparing them the next day, just hanging out.
Okay. So just kicking it on. I assume you've got like a little stage sort of set up with like a couple of like bonus instruments for like guest musicians, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. And just myself, all the instruments I need.
Right.
One-man band.
Yeah.
So he looks at all of you and says, I'm here on a call. I'm supposed to this voice sounds so ridiculous.
Not the worst one you've done.
I'm vengeance.
What is the worst voice I've ever done? That's the real question.
The time you
don't answer that.
Was pretty good.
That was my favorite, actually.
Oh yeah,
My
the squeaky door hinge.
My real favorite part of last week that I would have said using my voice instead of Garion's voice was when the look on Diana's face when she realized she could get me to do that. Because I came in too hot at the beginning of the episode and she was like, it is now time to pay this piper. Anyway.
Worth it.
Terrell O'Larson says, I'm here on a house call. I've got an invitation. And he reaches into his cloak and pulls out 4 folded pieces of parchment that look quite fancy, even from a curious, casual glance. There's some gold filigree along the border, and they're all sealed with a dollop of red and gold wax.
Gareth just like peels the gold off of them.
Like scrapes it. Gareth?
Do I recognize his tattoos as having any particular meaning? Are they magic? Do they signify something?
Give me an investigation check, and it's going to be with disadvantage if you're doing it from behind the bar, or you can step into the scene and I'll let you do it normal.
I mean, can I do it when I assume he's handing me the invitation?
He's sort of standing on the inside of the door. He hasn't approached the bar or any sort of one person. He looks actually a little bit hesitant to sort of like fully step into the room.
In that case, rather than stepping out from behind the bar, can I extend my arm as like I'm waiting to receive the invitation so he walks closer to me?
Absolutely. He holds them out.
Sweet. Is it just
standing exactly where he is?
Would you be able to see his arm better with it? Ow.
I'll just,
all right. Yeah. That's a good gambit. All right. Fair enough. Roll that insight, Gareth. Don't take disadvantage. Roll it normal.
Thank
or
God,
investigation.
I have a 0 in investigation. That is a 13. That's not as bad as it could have been.
Not as bad as it could have been. They don't look immediately arcane. There's no obvious glyphs or sort of like glowing situation. They range from ornate and extensive to sort of like stubby and squat. You get the feeling that this is sort of like a patchwork job of like a lifetime's worth of tattoos. The thing you do notice sort of like overall, Gareth, is that these tattoos, no trace of them were on his arms when he spoke to you in the Temple of Gond some days ago.
I don't suppose I'm able to tell if they're still like healing, like flaking, or
not from where you're standing.
Okay.
That you'd have to be within handshaking distance to figure that one out.
Fair enough.
Are they still wrapped and like, you know how they put the plastic over?
No. The fantasy
Second
third
skin.
skin has been pulled right off.
So probably didn't get them in the last 24 hours.
This guy seems like the kind of guy to go into water and direct sunlight with new tattoos.
Ugh,
Sunscreen.
gross.
They're fantasy sunscreen.
It's an open wound.
So, okay, I imagine I see him with these invitations in his hand, but he hasn't. He's yet to say what they are, right? He just said there's some sort of
correct.
Okay. So like when I see them, I imagine Arnold would send them and be like, a second battle of the bards. Let's do this. We won the first one so easily. So he like gets up and gets closer to this guy.
Arnold, he turns to you and extends them, and he drops them in your hand almost as soon as you walk over. Like he's grateful to let them go.
I've been cursed.
And and he looks at you, and his eyes dig into yours just a little bit, and there's a hint of iron in his expression, and he says, "Just for the record, I don't think you're Harper material." And unless you need something from him, Harper material.
So I immediately am just like, yeah, I've never played the harp, but I'm real good with every other string instrument, and I don't really appreciate this insult from my new best friend. How dare you do this?
I think Tess would be. So there's 3 invitations. Yeah.
4.
Oh, okay. Because how does he? I think she would be like, how do you know I'm here? Or does he have one for Cerulean?
Yeah, I mean, there were 4 of us before.
Are there?
Are you gonna step up and look at these envelopes, or are you asking Arnold, who is currently in possession of them?
I think she. Yeah. I am asking Arnold. So yeah. Hey, is there one for me, or is it for Cerulean? How about we?
Since they're in my hand, I'd like to take a look at them. And can I get a glance at him and see if there's anything odd about him? Like, do I notice or detect any kind of magic going on? Is there any kind of like, disguising?
Give me an Arcana check, please.
Got it.
Do you have a detect magic spell, Anthony?
No, I wish I did. Yeah.
What's an Arcana thingy?
It's sort of like a general spell checking skill.
I got 14.
Like autocorrect?
Yeah.
Oh, spell
like
check. I got it. Took me a second.
That's pretty good. We got to get warmed up. It's fine.
I'm so tired.
I know, dude. It's been a long week. You're not getting a hint of Arcana off this guy.
Okay.
He's sort of just like bare bones.
Okay. Then really what I wanted was just to look at the thing.
Okay.
Like, do they say our names on them? That's really what I want.
They do have your names on them. They say Arnold Stevenson. They say Gareth, Mel, and Tess.
They even say Tess. Okay. So
I'm here.
Yeah. So I look at Tess. I'm like, there's one for all of us, and I kind of go to hand it.
Yeah. And Tess takes it in her mouth. What does it taste like, dear DM?
It tastes like expensive brandy and cigar smoke.
I think Tess starts to nibble on it a bit, but then she turns to this guy. I already forget his name, and is like, "How did you know I was here?"
He looks at you and sort of like thumbs his nose a little bit and says,
"You do cocaine?"
I do so much cocaine, it's crazy.
Yeah, he thumbs his nose a little bit.
Listen.
Oh my God.
The Harpers know everything that goes on in this town. Our fingers are on the pulse of this city's heart. And I know that it's weird that we're touching the heart, but listen to me. We know everything that goes on. We know you are not really a cow.
Was it the talking that gave it away, or what?
Can I get mad?
you?
Yeah, I was gonna say I get mad on behalf of my new best friend.
Yeah.
I'm just like, clearly is a cow, like equally as much as anything else. What are you talking
How dare you tell me I'm not a cow?
You don't just say that to a person.
There's no wrong way to be a cow.
You're only a part-time cow. You're lying to yourself.
Not a
and you're lying
cow.
to me.
Oh, so if I stab you right now and then don't stab other people, I'm not a murderer. It's just okay.
I sure hope so.
Yeah. So if I killed you and I turned back into a person, I am not. I am no longer
Yeah,
a
he's
cow.
super backs up. Done. Yeah.
He's
He's
you
like-
do not, question the cow on her couch.
The vibes in here are super weird.
Can
They
Gareth
were
kind of
great
take
until
over this
soda.
situation a little bit?
Arnold and Tess
hop
are
into the
not-
bit, Gareth.
not
The
their
two
bit.
ding dongs are running hot.
Mel,
Gareth
real
would-
quick, Arnold, if you can put Mel's invitation in the little basket, because she ain't coming down for this.
What do you have, like a bell?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna holler down, like put mine in the basket.
Okay,
I like that.
since we're still like in front of this guy and he hasn't yet left, can I just be like, we've been here for a while. I'm sorry. I know we seem to be getting off on the wrong hoof. However, I don't know the Harpers, unfortunately. Can you like tell us a little bit about your people?
And Tess also just looks at him and says very slowly, "We are closed."
So I obviously recognize this person because he gave me the crumpled up note earlier, right?
Correct.
So I'm gonna address him. Well, we don't know his name, right? He never introduced himself.
No, you do. It's Terrell O'Larson.
Terrell. All right, so I'm gonna address him. Listen, Terrell, you may be a Harper who has your finger on the pulse of the city. But why? First of all, you gave us the commune with the dead spell earlier, which now that I know you have again your finger on the pulse of the community was not a coincidence. What's your game? I don't think you're helping us for fun.
I'm just here to do a job. Boss says, give you a scroll, I give you a scroll. Boss says, give you some envelopes, I give you some envelopes.
Who is your boss?
Open the envelopes and meet him for yourself.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. We probably will do that because I mean they're fancy envelopes. How will we not? However, you're weird and suspicious, man. Like, did you wait deliberately? We closed 3 minutes ago. You had to have waited for that.
It's a long walk from headquarters. Listen. This voice makes me sound really suspicious. I can't do much about it. I was born this way. The fantasy surgery is really expensive. So, I understand that I sound suspicious.
No
You guys don't
fantasy
even have fantasy
healthcare.
healthcare here.
It's
No,
like
that's just-
fantasy America.
That's just what we call regular healthcare.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's-
say
that's not
fantasy
actually-
healthcare.
That's not actually my joke. Garion told that joke 4 episodes ago.
I was going to say it's also fantasy healthcare here in this country. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'll marry you. You use mine.
Oh, that's really sweet, but I'm not into bestiality.
Wow. What?
Oh, what? So now you're mad that he thinks you are a cow? Make up
So
your
now
mind.
I am a cow. You're the
He-
one fingering the community in their
Garrett-
hearts. What was it?
No, it's that. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Gareth is gonna make a comment. Well, what's up with the fresh ink you got there? That wasn't there last time we met, which was how long ago? Approximately.
Probably a few days. So you met him in the Temple of Gond, which after you went Temple of Gond to the morgue, you had the morgue couple of episodes, and then you went to the Battle of the Bards. So sort of
Yeah, okay, so less than a week.
yeah, for sure, within recent memory.
You
And you-
seem to have gotten 2 full sleeves in the span of few days.
Are you okay?
Actually, Gareth, you see one corner of his lips turn up in a little smile, and he says,
A little trick of the trade, my friend.
he reaches into a pocket and pulls out a little smear of something on his fingers, and he wipes it across his palms. And Gareth, you see the ink completely disappear on one arm, and it looks like he's just got regular skin.
It's called concealer.
So he needs
also,
what
given
reason
that
would
he's
you
been
have
using
to
those
fake
hands to
tattoos?
finger hearts, please don't
Yeah.
touch the bar.
What is he
or anything.
smearing on him? I don't like the idea.
Maybe
of
he's got hand sanitizer in the other pocket.
Do I do it? Are there any gangs, guilds, or organizations that have tattoos that you need to? Because what other reason would you have to fake having tattoos?
Gareth, give me a history check, please.
Doing it. Damn, man, all of my smart people checks are fucking awful because believe it or not, Gareth is kind of a moron. Oh shit, I rolled a natural 19.
stop.
Never mind.
Hey! Okay. You don't recall a specific organization that has sort of on again, off again tattoos. But with a history roll that high, I think you remember there was one lesson in your brief stint in school when you went that you remembered because it was cool, and it was about secret societies and how a lot of them dabble in sort of everyday disguise. And so they take great pains to shift their appearance to sort of like move through certain circles.
Can they turn into cows?
Maybe they can. I don't know.
Wait, you went to school like once and it happened to be on that day?
It was a good roll. What do you want from me?
Wait, you went to school only once?
That's what he just said. Like.
Oh, wait,
so-
yeah,
so,
does
like,
Tess
This
know
is
my
how Slumdog
backstory?
Millionaire
I don't know
went. Like,
anything.
that's how it works.
Tess, for context, my character grew up in a wizard village, but didn't want to go to wizard or regular school, so he just kind of left, and that's
We
why he
just
can't
didn't-
read.
Because
You actually
have good
I love
parents
it.
or something.
okay.
The wizard
cool.
village is much more like a commune. There aren't individual parents. or
Wait, if you
families.
went once and you found it kind of cool and then you didn't go back, I'm just saying, bestie, there's a hole in this.
No, there's a hole in my backstory and world building. Shut
No,
the
maybe
fuck
stop
up.
fingering hearts and making holes and
Oh well, Alex, here's a good thumbnail for you.
I love that. Actually,
go.
thank you. That's great.
Oh,
Gary,
yeah,
you
let's
have
just make thumbnail faces.
yeah. So Garrett, that's what you sort of like pull out of your history of chords.
yeah, that's where Gareth pulls them.
Alrighty. Well, I super don't trust this guy, but I also don't really have any questions for him. So
Okay. He turns to leave.
Gareth knocks Floon on the head. Lock the door when we close.
Oh shit, bro, that's my bad. Yeah, I got it. And he hustles over to the door and closes it and locks it behind the dwarf, slinging the key on a finger like it's a little like dangly. Yeah, you get it. Arnold,
Was it?
your envelopes.
Yes.
You open them?
So first of all,
I
I just I immediately start opening the one that says my name while I'm just like casually handing them out to people. Just like
Mine in the basket.
yes, I toss one in the basket, like
And it lands perfectly.
making him rain.
Unlike the calling card.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make him roll for it. Consistency.
yeah.
All right. You all open. Do you all open your envelopes first of all?
Yeah.
Gareth is going to want to like check his for anything, like hold it up against the light. I can't really
Yeah.
check for magic because I'm inept, but
I'm opening mine while also considering taking a bite because I saw Tess do it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
is it good though? But I
No,
don't.
Tess
I
is-
don't. I just
That's just looking at everyone. She's like, oh, no poison or anything. No,
Don't worry, guys. Still alive.
No, it doesn't taste like poison. So
Okay, you open these envelopes to find very ornate, heavy cardstock with your names scrolled onto them, inviting you to the Waterdeep Opera. The tickets are for a private box in the Opera House tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
is there a
Does
dress code?
mine come with a +1 for Josh Pat? Because I'm not going without him. I will stay in my crow's nest.
It does not, but
I mean it's a private box, so I
It's a
assume we're allowed
private
to
box, so
bring-
like
yeah.
that's where the big money gets thrown around. You could probably swing Josh Pat.
does it say what show we're going to see?
It does, yes. Thank you so much for asking. You are going to go see
Phantom of the Opera.
The only one I know.
Fantasy Phantom of the
Fantasy
Opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Ah.
Someone's gonna need to read Gareth's.
That is an excellent point, actually. No, you are going to see The Prince and His Mistress, a very famous
I don't want to see
opera-
that.
operatic
Ew.
piece. Well, that's what the tickets are for.
I
So-
was making a joke that was not a play name, and we were actually just going to go watch The Prince and His Mistress.
I did not get that, so
Yeah,
thank
no,
you
it's
for
really good
explaining
when
it
I
to
have
me.
to explain jokes. I love it. It makes them funnier.
Can I ask? Would Arnold be familiar at all with this like opera? Is it a thing that I would know about? Being interested in music
By
and art?
repute, I think, yeah, you've definitely heard the name before. It's one of the more traveled pieces. You've definitely seen like flyers for it in this town or the other as you've roamed up and down the Sword Coast. It's definitely one of the more like storied shows in the land.
Okay, so I would kind of be like, Gareth, it's the Prince and the Mistress. That show that we were supposed to see like a long time ago, but we didn't get to go see because we were looking for Floon.
Yeah. No, okay. I do remember you really wanting to go see that play.
We
However,
wanted together. Do you remember
yeah,
that?
yeah. The both of us really wanted you to go to the play. You're right. So the only issue I have with this is I'm always down for a night of theater. But I personally, if I were going to carry out a hit on somebody, I would get them in a seat where exactly when and where I know they will be, and when they're distracted by some sort of entertainment.
Does Waterdeep have like a history of a fantasy, I don't know, like president being killed in a theater box?
There's no sort of like direct Abe Lincoln connection, but there is a very obvious history of like murder, blackmail, and general skullduggery in this town.
Yeah, and Gareth, as your common criminal, would probably be like wary of this.
For sure. Yeah.
That's just my vote. Personally, oh, let me do this as my character voice actually. Let's see. Personally, my top priority is going after Eugene and his merry men because they kind of really screwed us over in there. And I'm not super cool with that.
Who is that?
It's Urstel Floxen.
Oh, yeah.
You remember? Never mind.
The
So,
irritation on Garion's face when
Sorry.
you forced him to say his actual name.
So in going after Ursel, we'd have to follow the map and find the Nimblewright and the stone. And
That's
all that,
yeah,
right?
that's sort
Okay.
of that
Right.
storyline.
Okay.
But I
So-
will say, like above table, like there are timelines working sort of across the board, but like these stories will stay if you want to
Okay.
pursue another one. They're not going to expire, like go away.
Okay.
They're like quests in games. You can just go to the NPC and reactivate them.
I would love to keep going with the Nimblewright stuff before I forget all about it. That was
That's legit.
but yeah, I mean, it is really interesting. I love that we have this, magic map in our head. Well, not magic. We have this map of this situation. This stone is. I like the idea that it's like this organic stone that we don't know anything about yet. And kind of.
Yeah, actually, shouldn't Arnold like draw, because we saw it, but we haven't like written it down.
Yes, I literally said that in my
Get on
intro.
I
said
ate
that,
it.
Yeah, in my recap, I was just like, I need to draw this. That's what I'm doing. I'm making that.
Oh, okay.
This is canon. So
Yeah, I think Arnold has like sort of like a beautiful mind-esque, like there's like a specific area of detail where like he focused on like the X marks the spot, but then I think as it sort of grows away from that, it gets a little bit less detailed because he was focused on one corner of the map. So you've got almost the inverse of the map that was stolen or the piece that you ate, Tess, whereas like Arnold knows exactly where like the X marks the spot is, but as far as like where that is in the city, all you've kind of got is like the general sort of like dock ward in the southwest part of the town.
He knows it's in the second shelf on the third story. He does not know which building.
Yeah. Or what it is.
That would have gotten a good look as well, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Arnold and Gareth want to go after the stone and the Nimblewright. What are Tess and Mel feeling?
Mel would agree with that. I think that she'd still be kind of reeling from Cerulean being gone, and even though it doesn't appear to be directly related, it all happened around the same time, and also the concerns about the opera from the Rogue being valid, and just losing one person. Mel's kind of got like this fear of like abandonment or whatever, so she doesn't want to risk losing anybody else, so let's not make ourselves sitting ducks for some reason. But also the thing that we heard it say, like, return me to my home, but we know that Nimblewrights don't really talk, so that was probably the Rock, for all intents and purposes, doing the talking, which lends credence to the theory from the now dearly departed, whatever the fuck his name was, who believed that it was organic. Look, I remembered part of it.
You're very.
Don't remember
I'm
the
so
name.
impressed
No,
right
you're
now.
doing
The name.
I'm
Diana,
so
you're doing
impressed right
great.
now.
So yeah, I would want to do that too.
Okay. Tess?
I think Tess would consult Greg, actually. I think Tess would like show him the invite and be like, what do you think? What about this? Do you think? And then ask him probably about the map. Because he was there. So wondering what do you think we should do? Yeah.
Greg is sitting
in a pot of
no,
water.
I can't do that. I was gonna say he's sitting on the bar, but I do think Gareth would have a problem with a live crustacean sitting on the bar.
He
so
just tucked him underneath the bar.
Okay, here it is. Here it is.
He's like on ice.
Yeah,
So,
actually, I think Gareth would have like a tank of sorts.
Okay, so you see
There's a price
Greg
on him.
sort of
Yeah, no, for sure.
He can't see it, but there's
like a sticker that he assumes is its name, but it just says like $29.99. The price is in American USD.
It's real world US dollars. Tess, you see Greg swim up from his iced down tank behind the bar, and it's a pretty sweet situation. You guys have made a fair amount of coin in the even like just a couple of weeks that Trollskull Manor has been open. So tank's pretty good looking. It's fresh ice water in there, and Greg swims up to the surface and sort of like rests his claws on the top of the glass, and he says, I haven't had really much time to focus up on any of the leads, so this would give me a time to hit the streets. Maybe I can sniff out something about these ding dang Harpers.
Have you heard of the Harpers before?
Well, I've heard of harps, so like maybe they're connected.
How are you going to hit the streets? No offense.
This is the spinoff we need. I want Greg just like throwing people in an alley.
Garrett, he swims down to the bottom corner of his tank and reaches behind a rock and pulls out a double brimmed hat and sets it gently between his eye stalks and says,
shit.
"Don't worry about it, Buster. The jizz is on the scene."
Ew.
That's the Junior Shellfish Detective Agency. I'm not being a naughty boy.
Sorry, you're right.
So he's down to go do what everyone else wants to do. Yeah. Okay.
For sure. I'll go with you if you want, or I can also go scope out this opera house and see if it's an ambush situation.
That's a great idea.
Hey, give me one of those invites. I'll pretend to be one of you guys.
I give
How
him one of my
fucking
fake
funny
mustaches.
would it be? Could you imagine laying an elaborate trap for somebody, and when you go to spring the trap, it's just a fucking lobster?
I want to do that.
That's
Garrett,
a great idea, Greg.
I'm sorry.
Great idea.
Arnold,
a lobster with $29.99 on its back.
He takes the mustache.
He takes the mustache. Which one do you hand him? If you will recall, you've got seven.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have the like big Nietzsche one. I have like the swirly. I'm gonna give him the classic swirly one. Nice. I'm gonna give him like the
All right, so Greg slaps this Pablo Picasso twirly ass mustache on his face, and he goes, "See, you'll never know it's me."
Oh, who is that? Where'd Greg go?
I say, "Hi, it's nice to meet you. My name's Arnold. I love making new friends."
Gosh darn it, it's me, Arnold. Don't be fooled. No, I had everybody all up in a hubbub about it. Don't worry.
Oh man,
this guy's gonna get killed so fast.
Oh,
Holy shit!
No.
Okay, so Tess, you can take Greg with you, or you can send Greg to go scope out the opera house in advance of y'all's tickets. Which would you prefer?
I think I would ask the rest of the team. What do you guys think? What does everyone think? Should we bring him? Do we need him with us? Maybe he'll have information, or do we send him off to the opera house to maybe get killed?
Personally, when you put it that way, I vote the opera house.
Can we ask him? Okay, can we ask him legitimately how he feels about like protecting himself? Like, does he feel safe going to a place that's potentially dangerous? Can I just ask him that?
I am secretly hoping that Greg is like a martial arts expert. And like when like we don't suspect it at all because he's been keeping up this really like innocent, like I'm not a naughty boy thing. But then when the chips are down, he just suddenly like turns and he's like fucking Bruce Lee. Like
we like go to the opera house and we go to the opera house and
everyone's dead except Greg,
surrounded by
over their bodies.
With the hat and the $29.99 sticker, and like
he's on stage
now.
Like,
so, yeah.
He's also the opera star.
Yeah, and the mustache still going on. Like that would just be that's everything I need in this life.
Arnold, I think he looks at you, and this is actually deeply unsettling for you, Arnold Stevenson. This lobster winks at you and
Wow.
says, "Don't worry about it, bucko."
So I'm
For
like,
the audio
yeah,
only listeners,
buckaroo.
I winked.
Do the wink again.
Bing. There it is.
Bing.
so I'm like, yes, I also vote Opera House. I think we're okay, guys. I think he'll be okay.
Okay. So Greg is going to the Opera House. You guys are going down to the dock wards to look for this Nimblewright. Now, I will remind you that you have in your possession a Nimblewright detector that Nim and Charlie gave you from the House of Inspired Hands at the Temple of God. It looks like a sort of like double sword hilt with an ice cream scoop or clicky handle. And when you click the handle, a little cocktail umbrella comes out and sort of like spins around. And when you were there, Nim explained to you that this is a Nimblewright detector. So, smash cut. The Waterdeep docks. This is now your second time treading these cobblestoned, crooked alleys. This is your first time treading these alleys.
Nice.
I described them, and then I forgot how I
Are
described
you still a
them.
cow, Tess?
Flip floppy. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
she
in cow
is.
mode still.
Okay.
I think unless you guys like tell me not to be in cow mode,
No,
I'll
I
probably-
was just curious if you were doing this as a cow or as a person.
The streets test here absolutely reek of rotten fish, low tide, and trash.
What does low tide smell like?
seaweed.
Seaweed and salt. It
And, like,
sucks.
Dead fish, and it's
It's
not a
real
good
gross.
Low tide smells really bad.
It's
Yeah.
really bad.
rank.
Who is holding the Nimblewright detector?
I
Gareth
will if
is,
nobody
okay.
objects.
So clicking it sort of like as you move into these is the first streets of the Dockward where it separates from the trade district to the north. The streets get slightly narrower and the taverns get rowdier. You start to hear music. There's like fiddles and lutes and drums, and people are carousing and drinking. And through the windows, you see people like getting into fights and scrapping. It's generally a rougher and rowdier part of town. But you click the handle of this Nimblewright detector and you don't see it sort of like light up. The cocktail umbrella at the top just sort of like deadpan spins around.
Is it like a little satellite dish, or
I'd like
No
to think
idea.
of it as like a little cocktail umbrella that's like inverted so it looks like a satellite dish, but you guys
Okay.
can imagine it however you guys want
I
to.
was just curious. Okay.
Okay. Have Tess and Arnold recreated the map at all yet?
I guess
I've
that's up to you. That's up to you guys.
That does seem like something we would do before leaving.
Sure,
Maybe we
totally.
drew it on the back of a napkin and we're just kind of like walking.
Mhm.
Okay, I love that. Following this map, you're moving towards the water. You definitely remember the X marks the spot being like on one of these piers jutting out from the actual like water line into Waterdeep Harbor, which is secured by a tall flagstone wall, sort of protecting it from the outside oceans, where a lot of like the trade ships come in. Even now, this late in the day, the sun's setting over whatever horizon it sets over. I'm not deep enough in the lore to know if it's fucking east, west, north, or south. But you see ships moving in and out, lit along their rigging by hanging lanterns, so they appear to be almost like ghostly forms moving in and out of this sort of like seawall. I think you get to one of these piers when the details on your map start to run together a little bit, and you start to having to actually like do some investigation, do some searching, and it takes. Find out my dice here. About 45 minutes for you to step onto one of these piers, a little crooked, a little leaning as it juts out into the water. You're on sort of like the southwestern side of the harbor, away from the busy ports with sort of like the hustle and bustle. And, you know, even this late in the day, people loading and unloading all of these ships. You step onto one of these more isolated piers, and you see a group sort of like in front of you, and a figure knocking on a door to one of a long sort of like row house that's been built above this pier with like a set of staircases leading down to the dock.
Good thing
And
we
there's-
know cows can do stairs now.
That's what I thought. I was worried for a sec. Yeah.
Might have been a ladder, would have been screwed. But you hear a voice that is ever so slightly familiar to you say, "Yes, now we are not the watch. I am just a casual member of the acquaintances here in the city, and I am here to ask you just a few questions. Yes, so if you could open the door, please. Yes, thank you." Thank you.
Quick question. Did anything come of Eugene framing all of us? Like, are there wanted posters for us anywhere or anything?
That's a great question, Gareth. Yes, the general vibe of the city right now, even walking through the streets of the hustle and bustling dock ward, pretty subdued. The city watch presence is pushed up in the city. There are constables on almost every intersection. You see wagons with horses and armed sergeants. There are harpies overhead flying too low across these streets so that every now and then the sort of like winged silhouette of a griffin will sort of like cut off the moonlight overhead. But you are not stopped as you move through any of these intersections. You only catch a few wary glances from these city guardsmen.
I think most important question, no wanted posters or descriptions of us.
Not that you see.
Okay. I think I will lean over to Tess and be like, listen, do what makes you feel comfortable, but they are probably looking for a group traveling with a cow.
I think that's fair. I totally didn't even realize I was in cow form, and I think she just switches back into a person.
Okay.
And then like kind of gets confused because she's been a cow for so long, so she's like trying to walk with her arms, and then it's like, oh wait, right, okay.
It's a crazy Attack on Titan reference. You don't even know it.
Can you make unconscious references?
I have no idea. No idea what you're talking about.
Gareth, you recognize the now familiar voice of Ranear Neverember floating down from this isolated shack over the low tide waters of Waterdeep Harbor. He is standing surrounded by 4 or 5 shadowy figures. Again, it's moving towards the nighttime, so like the light is dying and you can't quite make out the faces or forms.
And he's like knocking on the door asking to like talk to somebody.
Correct.
Damn. Well, no, Rainier's not a fucking cop. No, I'm thinking of Captain Rein.
Ah, yes, Captain Rein. She speaks with a different accent, no? Maybe it's the same accent and I'm not very good at this. Leave me alone.
They're real similar, I'm not gonna lie.
So I kind of want to like eavesdrop. I don't necessarily want to make my presence known to Rainier or anyone inside.
Okay.
But I also don't want to make the whole group stop and wait. What are you guys thinking about this situation here?
So can we tell where Rainier is in relation to our map and like the X? Like can we recognize that on the map at all?
You're both in the general vicinity. I think you have a gut feeling, Arnold, being the one that recreated this map and sort of conferring with Tess, having had the better look at it. You're pretty sure that you want to be a little bit further south, but you're both sort of like in the same area.
Okay. So I guess I would say to Gareth, like, do you think he's looking for the thing worth looking for? Because he's not. I think we have to keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. Rainier's kind of a dumbass. I don't really think he knows what he's doing.
So,
Cable question. I don't remember what happened to him when we were in that room.
I was actually
And like people disappeared. Did he disappear with them?
I
don't think he came inside with us.
Where did
He came in. No, he came inside.
followed
He came
us.
inside the mansion with you. I don't think I pulled focus on him, but he was with. He didn't disappear with all of the other guys. He sort of like got out of the mansion with you, and
Okay.
we all went your own ways.
He didn't run with. Did he run away with us?
He ran away
When we were-
with you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But not as soon as we all like got to on the ground outside, he fucked off, I assume.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So can I get an insight check on?
Absolutely.
I want to see if this group is like, if they're like they have like pitchforks and torches, or like if they have malicious intent in trying to open this door.
Yeah, the tiki torch check. Do it.
You get it. Oh, that's a +1, baby. 14.
Rainier Neverember is surrounded by people holding short swords.
Is Ranear holding a weapon?
Negative.
So they're probably his people. Dad or
Gareth, you hear
captured somehow.
You hear a quiet voice, almost lost over the rustling of like tide and your own party, sort of like just behind you. The voice that answers Rainier Neverember is too distant to make out exact words. You only catch tone. The tone is sharp and harried. And Rainier Neverember responds in kind and says, "Yes, well, if you answered the door a little quicker, perhaps that I would not be standing here with so many questions. I'm simply looking for a Nimblewright. Do not make that face at me, woman. I know you know what I'm talking about." And his tone is generally a little bit sharper than you're familiar with, Gareth.
All right. I think personally my vote is he's looking for the Nimblewright. He's taking the slow route of going door to door. I think we just let him do his thing and press onwards. Thoughts?
Yeah, if we're not in the area that the bard recalls as being the spot where we're supposed to be, or has gut feeling or whatever it is, then I'm inclined to let Ranear do whatever Rainier is going to do. And if we happen to meet up later, I'm sure we'll lie our way through it. But for now,
we tend to do that.
We do tend to do that. Maybe we can just avoid him entirely, like get ahead of him, and we'll just try not to biff it and see if we can't find what we're looking for first, right?
Oh, by the way,
I'll drink more just in case.
Nice, just in case.
I roll better when I'm drunk.
This makes me trust Rainier super less, because to my understanding, he was just hanging out at Battle of the Bards and just happened to come in the mansion with us. But now all of a sudden is like, where's the Nimblewright?
That was my question. It was like, do we know why he would be looking for it? So no.
Notably, you do not test, and you're not actually missing any information. I don't think anybody knows what Rainier Neverember is doing here.
Because he also was like being spared by the goobers.
The goobers notably did not attack Rainier Neverember. This is a good point, Gareth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would all be like
very sincere, right? I mean, as far as we could tell, he was very sincere about like what he was doing and what his place was there, and he just didn't want to be associated with his father, and there was this this whole issue there. So we kind of trusted him by the end. So he was not entirely, but
he was at the Battle of the Bards getting. He was upset because one of his father's restaurants had been bought out from underneath him. Gareth, I feel like Gareth rolled a pretty high insight check against him and didn't catch any sort of like obvious subterfuge. But I mean, counter that with he's also here and didn't tell you guys about it. So like clearly something's going on.
Yeah, there's definitely a decent chance that he just rolled a higher deception check than I did insight.
Very true.
Like a non-zero chance. I have a +1 to insight.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like we're exactly open with anybody what we're doing either. And when would we have had the discussion that we're both going to end up doing the same thing? So I mean, if we end up running into Rainier, that's one possible lie. Like, oh, hey, you're here too. I didn't know you'd be doing this. You wanted to kind of separate yourself from your father. Obviously, your father had a lot of involvement, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just get our story straight. But ideally, we'll just avoid him.
So, yeah, what are the odds that we can just kind of circumvent, like just go around without, do we need to roll for stealth? Can we easily avoid this situation?
I mean, I think you're far enough away, and Gareth caught a pretty good view of what's going on, being the like rogue and sort of like having his senses be sort of like heightened, especially at night and in the maybe not the safest part of town. He was probably paying attention quite far ahead of himself. So you've got a good amount of distance between you guys and Ranear Neverember. If you want to turn and try a different pier, I don't think it would be that difficult to do so.
Okay.
That's my vote.
Okay.
Moving back, you didn't make it far up this pier. It was probably about 15 feet. You hook to the right, following this water line, following the really rotten stench of dead fish and drying out algae in this cold spring night. Mel, I would love a perception check from you, please.
16. That's not terrible.
That's not terrible. Okay. In one of the taverns that litter this harbor side, like it seems like every block is 2 taverns at least. You catch sight of somebody standing at a window drinking. He's got a mug in one hand, but he's clocking you guys pretty thoroughly. It was his gaze lingers on you longer than would be sort of like the polite norm before they like turn back to their own business and sort of like go away back inside.
Maybe he just thinks we're hot. Can we just like
That's
Give him a little-
non-zero
Give
chance.
him a little wink, give him a little what?
yeah, well, like like a hair flip and then like a little swish as we walk by.
Let's all of us do it just in case he's
Yeah,
not
we
into
all-
You never
flip
you never
our
know
hair.
who he's looking at, so everybody
Right.
do a hair flip and a booty wiggle just in case.
Everyone does, yeah.
For sure, one of us is gonna strike. At least one of us will strike his fancy. Do I recognize this individual, or do I just notice them?
You
giving
don't
us
you don't recognize him. You just catch the lingering eye contact. You feel like the small hairs on the back of your neck stand up from like I'm being watched from somewhere.
Do we make eye contact? Like, does he know that I know?
Ooh, great question. Notably, no. As soon as your gaze turns to lock onto his, as soon as you make that connection, he turns away and sort of like looks back inside. But even his body language shows that he is not actually like focused on what's inside. He just turned away from you.
Does he smell familiar at all? Or can I smell him?
It stinks so bad of fish and shit here, Tess. You can't smell anything.
Okay.
Is Josh Pat at all concerned? Any little furs on his cute little back?
I think Josh Pat, first of all, very cute. All of the fur is standing up, adorable. But similarly to Tess, is sort of overwhelmed by the rotten fish smell of low tide and is sort of like whining and pawing at his nose a little bit. He doesn't love
I
it.
kind of figured like with dogs, it's not always smell. Like sometimes dogs just kind of get a feel. I don't know if you.
I think this guy's a little too. I think he's a little too far away for Josh Pat to catch a body language vibe on him.
I would probably. We're all standing near each other still, though, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably go to Gareth because he's like the stealthy rogue type. This sort of seems to be his wheelhouse, and I would want to give him a heads up that like, hey, I think we're being watched. And I would gesture to this dude who's now trying to play it straight, but we know better.
Yeah.
I have a little scheme.
I love a scheme.
You usually do.
So obviously I can't like roll stealth for everybody, but can I like have us go one way and then we feint and come back so he thinks we went the wrong way?
Yeah,
my stealth is solid, so I'll do anything that involves stealth. Like my modifier is sweet.
I mean, you can definitely like you're in a large part of town with like lots of streets. It would be fairly easy for you to like make 3 lefts and then like a couple rights and sort of like feint around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I don't know, in case he tells any city watch, like, yeah, the suspicious hooligans went that way, when in reality we went that way.
Do we even like split up and then go different directions and then meet back together?
We could take one stealthy guy per group, you know.
Well, now hang on a second. That's an awful lot of forward thinking for this group, wouldn't you say?
That would be like the first time that we actually.
That's too smart.
Yeah, because the last time we split up poorly.
But Gareth, to answer your question, I think you could. I don't even think you would need a stealth check to just like hook a left and then like make a sneaky right, because like even where this tavern is situated, like it's on a corner. But if you made a left, went down the block, and hooked a right, like you would immediately break eye contact with this whole tavern, and this guy would, you presume, would have to come out of the tavern to follow you.
Yeah, can we do that? And also, can I see if he does follow us?
Sure. Yeah, you you make a couple of twists and turns, obviously trying to like lose a tail. And then I think you pull everybody to a stop in a like a side street, and you listen. And you don't hear any footsteps softly padding on the cobblestones behind you. You don't hear like the hush breath of somebody trying to keep their presence quiet. It is just the gentle susurration of water tide and the busy docks sort of like down the way.
And Josh Pat's still good?
Josh Pat's okay.
Cool. I think we're good to press onwards.
Okay. Moving back down to the waterline, you Arnold, you find a pier that is exceptionally old and missing boards in places where like you really wish there were boards. Like the gaps between each step are creeping more towards like 2 or 3 feet wide. But the way that it's built, both in terms of like width and positioning, you think this could be your pier.
Awesome. So I'm like 2 steps forward, mind the gap. So I'm just like kind of dancing and singing. But anyway, I'm like, guys, and I look at the map and I'm like, this is probably it, right? Like, I'm not fluent in map. And I kind of look to Gareth and I'm like, you can read maps better than I can, right?
That's the guy? That's the map guy?
Hey, there are no letters on that map.
That's true. That's pictures. And I do think that Gareth would be particularly adept at interpreting pictures to get their meaning, because he can't fucking read.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Fuck. As soon as Gareth started saying it, I was like, shit, that does actually make low-key a lot of sense. Fine. Yes, Gareth, so you, looking at this pier and where it's situated, you're at the far southwest corner of Waterdeep Harbor. And this pier stretches out over the docks, sort of like fading in fog a little bit as you see a bank of fog start rolling in conveniently, I will say, because I just decided it was there, through this sort of like sea wall built up over the harbor. And in the distance, you see a single lantern light hanging from a pole, almost like a distant gem in the faraway space.
I think Tess would be like hopping over the big gaps and just like muttering to herself, like, sure would be nice if I were a cow right now.
Those are boards. We can't risk the extra like hooves hitting more of, or the weight. I wasn't gonna body shame the cow, but like
I was picturing more like the sound of hooves on cobblestone, clack, clack, clack.
Are you the same weight as a cow that you are as a fae?
That is a rude question, and we will.
No, I don't think it is. I didn't ask how heavy. I just
like, are you a small cow or a large fae?
How dense are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's your
mass? How does the weight? Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I think all her molecules like condense into so much test per test when she's like a human, and then they kind of like spread apart when she's cow. So it's like the same.
Yeah, that's how it works.
67% more test per test.
Yeah, more test per test, and then sometimes it's a little bit less test per test, but it's still all tests. Yeah, I actually be like, okay, are we going towards that light? Because it's conveniently really foggy right now, so I don't want us to like fall off the pier or something.
Is there like a building or something that we're trying to get inside of?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Critically Stupid. My name, for those of you who I guess are confused, is Alexander James. I am your resident neighborhood dungeon master and also big fan of sound, listening to it and producing it. Thank you so much for sticking to the halfway point of our episode. I'm so glad you're here. Give me just a couple of seconds to get some announcements out of the way, and I'll have you right back to the show lickety-split. We are, for legal reasons, playing Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, an official Dungeons & Dragons module written by Chris Perkins, Scott Fitzgerald Gray, Kim Mohan, and Michelle Carter. If you or your homies, your squad, your pals, your petite gremlins like what you hear and are looking to get into D&D yourselves, I recommend you go to dnd.wizards.com. Check out all the cool stuff they've got there. They've got books that'll help you get started. They've got a character sheet that you can build and fill out online. They've got a blow up yourself troll for practice fights. It doesn't really seem like good practice because an actual troll is like full of flesh and muscle and danger, and this one's sort of more like a kid's toy. But I guess you could cut your teeth on it. You could give it a shot. If you would like to end up as a character on Critically Stupid, you can tweet us at CritStupid. Tell us what you think of the most recent episode. Tell us if you recommended the show to a friend. Tell us if you think we're doing a good job. We love hearing from our community, and I do regularly use those names for characters that these 3 ding-dongs meet. 4 ding-dongs. There's 4 of them. I regularly forget how many people are in my own show. So tweet us at CritStupid. Tell us what you think, and you might hear yourself as a character in an upcoming episode. And I do apologize in advance for the bad decisions I make on that character's behalf. That's on me, not you. You're perfect. We are doing a big YouTube push trying to get to that magical number of 1,000 subscribers that lets us get access to better recording software, better equipment, to generally produce a better show for you, the listener or the watcher. So if you haven't yet, I would very, very much appreciate it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you could recommend the channel to a friend who you think might like our stuff. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, if you could leave us a rating and a review, that would be huge. We tremendously rely on you guys to push us up in those algorithms and get us in front of new people who also might like our stuff. So if you like us, say something. And if you don't like us, say something as well. We still need those numbers. Algorithms, baby. I think that's it. That's all I've got. I'm going to let you get back to the show now. Thank you so much for sticking with us. You take it easy out there, all right? I love you. Gareth, walking down this pier, you start to see shapes loom up out of the fog and water lapping at the bottom of this pier. Curious to note as you're walking past them that they are looming taller than normal buildings would. You see them rise overhead, maybe like 10, 15 feet, but their shapes are pointed where normal buildings aren't pointed, and they're rounded where normal buildings aren't rounded. And you realize as you walk past one that you're walking past the beached and bloated forms of ships that have been sort of like stacked chaotically across each other. You pass one sort of like isolated by itself that looks like a little fishing dinghy. But as you walk further down this pier, you see more and more sort of like stacked atop each other, bisecting and crossing, and sort of like this one's crashed into that one. But the further you go, the more you see in this ship, there's a little porthole that's been carved out of glass, and there's a scurry of motion behind it. In this one, there's a little door that's been cut into the wood, and a little series of steps that's been built off of this pier, sort of like down and curving to the right. And you move past, I'd say, like a dozen of these ships sort of like crashed chaotically, sort of framing this pier as it sort of like goes down and hooks to the right, until you get to this lantern hanging from a pole. And it is shining on one of the larger ships at the end of this pier. It's a double decked ship. I'm not quite up to date on. Yeah, it's a double decker. I'm not quite up to date on my ship lingo, but there's 2 decks and a series of sails that sort of like flap languidly in a chill breeze. But there is a powerful door built into the hull of this ship as it sort of like beaches up against this pier that's banded with iron. And there's a sign hanging from the door with a series of letters scratched into it.
Don't know what that shit says. Can I? So it's a boat,
evergreen.
right? In theory, would I be able to get up on top of the actual deck and get in that way?
You definitely think that you could get if you were nimble enough, you could like leap up, like sort of like using the door to climb up. You could get onto the top of the deck, because the door is sort of like built into the hull of the ship that's sort of like beached up to meet this pier. So you could definitely get to the top of the deck by like crawling up a little bit.
You
By
throw your
being
knife.
by being real nimble, right?
Nice.
I saw the moment you had the thought exactly when I did. Your face, I was like,
Yes.
did you
I
throw
mean,
your knife?
I hated the second time just as much as I did the first.
What?
Tess, I can only use my teleporting knife once a day, so I typically want to save that for emergencies.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
I will go ahead and try to clamber on up there as quietly as I can.
Okay. I
Can't
will
wait to
say,
see what
Gareth,
that looks
as you walk up to the door, the little cocktail umbrella at the end of this Nimblewright detector starts whirring a little bit faster.
I think I like immediately turn it off because I don't want to make sound.
Okay. And you're leaping up to sort of like one of the upper decks.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, as quietly as one can leap. I was
All
maybe
right.
just gonna climb.
I mean, yeah, it's a sort of an angled situation, so it's less of a climb and more of like a scramble. Give me let's do a stealth check and an acrobatics check.
Let's do it.
Is everybody else going with Gareth, or are you hanging back to sort of see the results of this?
My preference is that I am scouting this for the rest of the group. However, that is not my decision for them.
I mean, I would respect that and probably like hang back ready to honestly
Cover fire.
some sort of yeah, I guess so, yeah, if needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do stealth first. My best modifier. Holy shit! 18 plus 7 is 25.
Wow. Okay. Give me an acrobatics. Jesus.
This is probably gonna be like a 1.
Hey,
He's
hey.
stealthy, but he
Doesn't
felt
even
Ooh,
look
it's,
like-
it's actually a 12 plus 3 is 15.
Okay. You all see the rogue leap into the shadow, sort of like fully crawling over this ship away from this single lantern light as like an oasis of light in this like dark area of the harbor, and almost disappear into the upper decks of the ship. Gareth, you follow this sort of like curved ship hull moving up. There are pieces of railing and portholes and like what maybe once upon a time would have been like cannon ports that you can use to crawl up. So it's not exactly a difficult climb. So even with the 13 acrobatics, you managed to get up there pretty easily. The top deck is slanted almost at a 45-degree angle as you get up to the top. So you would not necessarily be able to walk on it. It would be a pretty precarious slide and tumble.
Okay.
But but hang on a second. I'll tell you this with a sleight of hand that good, Gareth. And I'm actually quite irritated with you as a person because I didn't actually plan on telling you this. But fuck. All right, fine. Gareth, you see 2 men in dark armor clinging on to pieces of this deck at the 45-degree angle, waiting, lurking out of sight. They have not made eye contact with you, but you just sort of like peeking over the deck. You're so quiet that you see them before they see you.
Okay. God, you ever have an idea that you know is bad?
Do it, please. I'm literally begging you.
Okay, so I think before I hop over on top of the deck,
Okay.
I assume the gang is like watching me.
Yeah, I think you can see them sort of like on the other side of this like single lantern worth of light, trying to stay unobtrusive, but obviously like they're on a pier, like they're
right
there.
I think now what the ground below me, is that like cobble or is it like dirt or
It's water.
ugh.
You're like 60 to 75 feet out into the harbor.
I was concerned. I wanted to like drop my knife for somebody to come like pick up in case I needed a hasty getaway. And I was concerned about like having it clang and clatter on the cobblestone, but having it go into the water retrievable, equally not helpful.
Also splash.
Maybe you're a really good swimmer.
I was going to say, unless you want to teleport to him and hope you don't drown.
What is my swimming? That's not a thing.
Your swim is equal to your walking pace, so I think it's like 30 feet. Not bad.
Oh, balls.
Let's cut really quick. Let's cut back to the gang. You all see Gareth leap up this ship, disappear into the darkness, and I will say it's probably about 10 to 15 seconds of silence that starts like slowly ticking by with no sort of like call back or scurry of movement. Like it's almost like he's fully disappeared over the side of the ship. What would you all do?
And I can't see anything because, I mean, I can see at night and in the dark and shit.
All right. You guys, I guess you all, I think all three of you have dark vision, actually. The only person that doesn't have it, ironically, is Gareth.
That's not even true. I'm an elf.
Oh,
no, I'm a human. No. That's a different character. I'm a moron.
Yep. There you go.
Moron's not a character.
No, I'm talking about Garion for real.
It is if you're Garion.
So can we, with dark vision, can we see anything?
I think you see him like leap up the side of this ship and then get to the top and like the top railing, and you all can see that it's like the angle is such that the ship falls away from that point, and you see him freeze.
Okay, but we can kind of see like at least the silhouette of his body, like if he were to move. Okay, how far away from us is he? Like 20 feet?
He's probably like 20 feet out and about 30 feet up at this point because he's followed the whole curve of this ship.
Okay. So like if I get close enough, first of all, can I read what the words were that he couldn't see on the boat? Like is it something familiar?
It says fuck off.
Okay. Okay.
Get fucked.
That's so okay, I'm gonna cast like the quietest minor illusion whisper specifically in his ear. Like literally the softest whisper that would only be for him, like, because I can do it within 30 feet. I can make it from a whisper to a scream or whatever sound I want. I should be able to do it. If you want me to roll, I totally get it.
Arnold, the rules as written say that you can just create a sound. I'm not sure that it can be bent to the level of like that you can whisper in Garrett's ear 50 feet away.
Is voice not a sound, bestie?
Yeah, but I can create if I want the sound to be like a song or like a specific sentence or something, I could say that. Not like live speech to him, but if I was
I understand, but the rules as written say that it's just a sound that you can't direct it. You just create a sound. So you're trying to create a whisper 20 feet away.
Right.
So you can make a sound from where you're standing that's like a lion's roar for just a random example.
So,
but like,
you think so everyone in the area would hear it, whatever it is? Oh,
correct.
Lame. Okay.
That's why there's a separate spell for that thing.
No, we lost that character.
We don't have it.
And yet it worked in a previous episode. Curious. Very curious that.
Okay. I have it then. No, you can't. Okay.
no, I don't.
He can't read, but I got this. Okay. So right next to him, I use minor illusion to create a sign, but it has little squiggles of like drawings of a person, and there's one that's like dangerous, like death, and there's another one that's like happy, and it's like thumbs up, thumbs down.
Okay. Gareth, you hear like a soft thump, and you look at the railing next to you, and there is a wooden sign where there was not a wooden sign a second ago, and there is a hanged man and a smiling man, and then a thumbs up, thumbs down.
Gareth looks at the sign, and like if I like motion, he can see me motion, right?
I think so. If you make it big enough, like he's not going to see minor. Like if you just put a quiet thumbs up down here, you have a feeling that your party would have a hard time seeing that. But if you move your arm in a larger gesture, you feel like they could catch that.
Could he see which person I point to?
Yes, let's say I think so. Yes, because I think Arnold would make the sign big enough so that he could see it from where he's standing.
So this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I don't know if this will work, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one of these motions, like like right now, point at the happy guy, and then
Okay.
do a little watch, point at the sad guy.
Okay.
Like we're fine for now.
Arnold, that's what you see him do.
Okay, so I kind of just I look at them and I'm like, I think there's someone that's potentially bad in there. Don't know what it is yet.
Jess, did you find anything in your searching? I know you were trying to see if you can get involved.
Yeah, I get confused by my character sheet. Are we trying to be quiet? Can I like whisper to like Arnold and Mel to be like should we do something? Like should we help him? Like what should I do? Because I think I can teleport about 30 feet, so I might be able to just land on those dudes as a cow, and they're probably fucked. Because I don't know if you ever had a cow dropped on you.
I mean,
She's not asking me, guys.
For this.
No, I'm asking you guys. Like, do I just
I've
do I just
never
take
had a
him out
cow
as
drop
cow?
on me. To answer your
So
last question.
I
Not
am.
once.
I'm heavy.
Are you gonna say like cowabunga when you do it? It's like
Nice. So I
Excellent.
am.
cannonball.
I'm making the assumption that there are more people inside.
Okay.
But not outside.
So I don't think a surprise attack on the two dudes outside would be the best, because then we might just get jumped by the people inside.
Well, you're operating sort of as a solo unit right now, Gareth. So,
This is my opinion that I cannot actually convey to Tess.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Me?
Yeah, are you looking at me being like, don't
you fucking
don't.
So I have an idea, I think.
I would love to hear it.
I'm gonna do kind of a two birds, one stone little deceptive maneuver.
Okay.
You know the classic throw a rock to get their attention somewhere else trick?
Love it.
I'm just gonna hurl my knife.
Into the
Not into the water.
Okay.
Like behind me onto the pier or something, like.
Okay. Yeah, give me a basic dex attack. I want to see if it goes into the water.
Oh, to specify, my magic teleporting knife, not my regular one.
Okay, heard.
Dex attack is just dex bonus, right?
Correct.
Cool.
Are you throwing the knife like in our direction, like at the pier?
I'm not throwing it in your direction because I don't want them to accidentally look at you.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
I imagine he's throwing it sort of in front of the door.
Just in front of the door? Okay.
Yeah. Unless, Gareth, you have another location in mind.
Actually, where the door would be, but on the opposite side of the ship. If
that is where these two figures are currently located.
Oh, I thought they were like on top.
I don't want to get too wrapped up in the geography of this. If you throw your knife on the backside of this ship, there is a greater than 0 chance they will notice that. If you throw your knife onto your squad side of the ship, they probably won't notice that.
Okay. Then I'm going to go with the latter.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Dex. Oh, wait, I already rolled it. I got a 14 plus 3 is 17. Unless you want me to roll again because it's been
No. 17's good. I believe you. Okay, with a 17, you throw your dagger and it sticks firmly in the planks of this pier in front of the door by about 5 feet.
Do the figures take any notice?
I think you see them twitch, but they don't make any sort of like burst of movement.
Okay, can I like motion to the gang and like point at my knife, like go get that if you can.
Okay, I'll go grab the knife. I grab the knife. I see.
There is a stealthier person than Arnold.
Nope.
Fair enough.
I'm grabbing
Arnold
it.
goes.
Hell yeah, he's my best friend. He would.
Yeah.
Arnold, give me a stealth check.
I got it. It's not gonna be good, guys.
Oh no. Just like trips and falls on his face.
I die. No, it's
I tried to be so stealthy. I stopped.
He stabs
breathing.
himself with
heart.
a knife.
All right, let me see where stealth is. I only got an 11.
Okay.
All right.
With an 11, you run out into the light and you grab this dagger. But I think, Arnold, it takes more effort than you banked on. I think it's such a good throw that it sank further into the wood than you thought. And when you pull it up, a chunk of rotten wood pulls up with it and makes like a tearing sound.
Mm-hmm.
And Gareth, now you see these figures start to slowly slide up the deck, making their way towards like sort of the far end of the ship. Like they're going to wrap around and leap onto this pier outside of Arnold's eye line.
Distracted them for you.
I'm gonna like motion Arnold like.
For our audio only listeners, that was a motion to come here.
The opposite of that, actually.
It was a motion to go away.
His arms were
There you go.
flapping. It was hard to tell.
Tess, are we getting involved? What's the play?
Yeah, Tess, I think would be like cringing at the noise because she's just like, that wasn't great. And then I think, could she Misty step? What would be most helpful? Because she could, in theory, Misty step inside.
You can only Misty step to a point you can see.
I can see. Okay.
Mel, what are you up to?
Mel's so annoyed.
Why?
Because of all the people to go after the fucking knife, Arnold just blazes the fuck ahead, even though he's almost died. Like, how many, like, before I even had a chance to say something like, fuck me for being slow, except I wasn't even that slow. Anthony was just like, I'm doing this, like 2 seconds of thought. He just goes and creates this situation. Mel's wishing she had just let herself fall through one of the gaps in the wood on the way and just just fucking died and been done with a lot of you.
Can you not
What
swim?
about Josh Pat though?
That's the only reason she's sticking around.
I think Tess is stressed enough about the situation that she just acts on impulse and she just drops herself as a cow on these guys who seem to be headed towards us. I think she just is panicked.
All right.
Are they within 30 feet? Because I can see them, right?
They are within 30 feet. You see one of them sort of like maybe like wriggle down off the other side of this ship and sort of like start clearly trying to make his way to like surprise Arnold, who he sees, because Arnold's standing, I think, in the middle of this like oasis of light, holding a dagger with a little piece of wood attached to the top of it. And you are within range to drop yourself on this person as a cow.
But they're not next to each other, then these two people.
No,
I
you'd
would
have
be
to pick
dropping-
one.
Oh shit. Okay. I guess yeah.
Mel being Mel would shoot the other one.
Okay, so yeah, Tess drops herself on the closest one. Just full, all four hooves landing on him, hopefully.
Okay.
Do I have to roll?
So you are going to wild shape into a cow. Let's say for the sake of the narrative that you misty step, a blur of silver fog almost like wreaths you from this like seaborne fog moving in from this wall, and you step out into empty air, and then with a gentle moo and a sound of a cowbell, you teleport across this empty space, and you step out just over this poor fucking sap, and you hit him with all of your mass. Let's see. What even attack would that be?
Average weight of cow.
They're not light.
They're notably not.
Average weight of cow. Female, 720 kilograms.
What is that in
freedom
American?
units?
In freedom units. In libs. 1,390 pounds.
Golly.
That's also how much I weigh when I am in human-like form.
Well, that
Wow.
was the question.
That was the question
before,
earlier,
now
because
we-
like I thought you were just a particularly light cow, but now you're telling me you're a dense ass person.
I'm a dense ass.
All right,
I don't think that's nice. I don't
high
think you
ab-
can
how-
call people dense.
I can call you dense. How high above this person did you teleport?
Oh my
Tess?
God.
Is that up to me?
It is.
Mel is notably more
'Cause
annoyed
I can
now
only
that
misty
the
step.
cow is doing a thing, and once again we are just 100% chaos,
Well,
This is
because I
amazing.
can only misty step 30
and it is
feet,
all Arnold's
I
fault.
think. I don't know if it matters
Again.
really how much I peer above them. Let's say 10 feet.
All right.
Yeah, when
Let's-
you weigh over 1,000 pounds, bestie, what fucking
Do the
difference
fuck I
does it
want.
make if it's
It's gonna be
10
like the
feet or
sky
20
falls
or
on your
5?
head.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
This is
fuck. At 1,000 pounds, you're dying either way.
yeah. We're not
that's
supposed to be. We are
100%.
mooder hobos now. Like that's Alex. You are doomed.
love
Anthony,
We're
I've
not
never
murder
been-
hobos.
I have never been more enraged at you as a
I
person.
know. I knew it.
How?
Excellent.
God. All right, fine. Tess, you teleport above this person and you fall on him like the sky's hammer has descended on this
Messiah.
dude's head.
No further
Yeah.
metaphor needed. Like a cow.
Like a cow. Roll 2d12 for me, please.
Damn.
D12.
I hope he moonlights as a banker.
He moonlights.
D12.
Moonlights as a banker.
Plus anything? Or no?
2d12, no.
Okay.
Plus just straight up and down.
2d12, 20.
Okay. You you feel this man's brains splash up onto your hooves as you crack his skull like an eggshell.
Mel's a little proud. First kill.
Yeah.
You know.
Now I would like you to
Still
make
annoyed
a
with you, though,
now
on
I
the-
would like you to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage because you are a cow. So that's going to be
Oh,
you're going to
no.
have a little bubble that says saving throws sort of to the left. Yours is going to be a +2, so roll a d20, roll it twice for me, please. And you're going to take the lower of the two and you're going to add 2 to it.
Okay, I rolled 20. That's 15. And again, that's 9. So
Okay.
I'm taking 9, and then plus 2
Yep.
is 11.
Okay, so you crush this man like he was made of glass. And
Like
there's like a
beef.
yeah, there's like a gentle like before he sort of like he just like falls limp. And then there's the sudden sound of your iron hooves against the sloped side of this boat.
Oh no.
And then you fall into the water immediately after this
shit.
fresh corpse that you've just created.
Okay. Good.
You can wash the corpse off of you.
Yeah, I
No.
can say I was like little brains. Okay. Well, Tess can swim, I think. Cows can swim.
We'll
Can the
find out on
cows
your
can
we'll
swim?
find
Can
out on
cows
your next
swim?
term.
I don't think
Mel, what are you up to?
It's a
You sort
really
of like
big-
primed yourself to be sort of like next in the order. You see a second form wriggling close to where Tess just sort of like cowed herself.
Can I see what he's doing? I almost want to see what he. Okay, granted, yeah, he's gonna freak out because somebody's dead. But I want.
Yeah, actually, no. You hear him say, "Oh my God, Jerry, sweet Christ Almighty."
he has a name now. Oh man.
That's the shit you did to me, bestie, when I killed somebody and you.
Oh, your
it was
kids
like
made me honor
Marvin or
roll,
something
Jerry.
like
How
that.
dare you
We're like,
humanize
oh God,
this person I
Marvin.
killed?
That's why I asked if I was the baddie. And then I leaned into it. By the way, cows are actually good swimmers.
Are they?
They take
Did
to the
you
water
Google that?
naturally.
I love
They
how
have
much we have to
little
research
trouble
cows.
swimming from one side of a pond or stream to the other.
That's why the sea
Right.
cows
Can
exist.
cover
Yeah.
much larger distances. Others prefer to go on
Sea
shorter
cow.
swims. It seems to be up to the cow's personal preference.
Wow. I have a cow fact for you, Diana.
Hey.
My partner's grandma used to have a cow, and they do get the zoomies.
I love that so much.
know.
I am just picturing like Cow Tess and Josh Pat like zooming around
having a great
together.
day.
And
Maybe
it's just
after
so
this
cute. And it's
moment.
the only thing that warms Mel's heart after Arnold bullshit.
Anyways, Alex is gonna
Assuming
kill
we
it.
You're all
survive
very
this.
much welcome for the fact that we just got a cow. Like that was amazing. A kamikaze. Like that was.
Excellent. Oh, I'm too tired for puns. I gotta think of something.
I'm gonna murder you in real life.
You gonna butcher us?
Mooder.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mel. You shoot this guy. What happens?
I was gonna
Oh, yeah.
say, okay, so he's freaking out about Jerry. Is he just like apparently grieving? Is he looking around? Is he pulling a weapon? Is he?
He's looking at the water where his boon companion just disappeared.
You squish. You got squished.
Can I see what Gareth is doing? No,
I-
a cow.
It's just watching this.
But like,
I'm
like
gonna be
one of
honest.
them's obviously been taken out, so they're probably not coming after Arnold anymore. At least, Or are they?
They
coming
probably are. They're probably coming outside, and the cow is under the water, and there's only one other dude there.
If there's
Gareth,
only
You're doing
one
so
other
good right
dude-
now.
Okay.
Gareth, what are you doing? I imagine that you sort of like looked to your left and you saw a cow fall on this guy with a sort of like, and then there was like a, oh God, Jerry, why?
I'm going to be honest, Gareth has never seen a stealth mission go so poorly so quickly and is fully not joining that. He is
Okay.
hiding, because he tried to climb on top. He's on top now.
Yeah. So,
Right.
Gareth, actually, you can see on the sloped backside of this ship, now that these guys have left, there is an angle of gentle light where there wasn't before, like in the sort of like void that these guys left over there, and you seem to, you think that there's like a porthole or like a window that you might have missed that they had been covering.
Okay, is there any way inside from up here?
You could, if you give me a dex check good enough, you can do a controlled slide down the backside of this ship deck at the 45-degree angle and catch yourself just in front of this window.
Yeah, I can try to do that. Should I wait until after Mel murders?
Yeah,
this
let's
other
do-
person?
I was gonna say, I was asking because I wanted to know, like if there were other people coming out, if Gareth was gonna like motion once again, kind of in our general direction to be aware of other people. But it sounds like that was not an issue. So yeah, I'm gonna murder this guy.
All right, roll that d20, Diana, and add your bonus to it. Shut up!
Lost so many listeners just right there.
Really? That's the moment we lost
Yeah, that's the
listeners?
one.
That
Yeah.
after this hour-and-a-half nightmare, that's the moment where people are like, you know what? I'm
You
out.
know what? No.
Next person to make a cow-based pun gets their IP address leaked.
And get doxxed.
24.
Oof. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Give me some damage.
Oh, that's the 8.
I think so, yes.
$11. I rolled an actual 8. Every time I drink, I roll so good, and then when I don't drink, I roll like shit. So I'm an
right.
alcoholic now.
Now?
Okay.
She's never dehydrated.
Well, that's very true.
Okay, you fire your arrow, and it's a quick shot, Diana, because like there's like the cow business, and then a fresh corpse, and then a splash. So you sort of like fire your arrow, I think almost instinctively, sort of like trying to just like regain control of the situation, and you catch this guy center mass. And with enough force to sort of like peel him off this ship like a rotten banana peel, and he falls into the water after his friend's corpse and your friend's cow.
Sorry,
form.
Tess. Another.
We're
Um,
doing great. Yeah, it's fine.
I just there's gonna be another corpse in there with you, and
That's
Gareth,
fine.
give me that
Ocean's
dex
so
check, please.
Doing it.
Ocean's
It's
huge.
just dex bonus, yeah?
good. Arnold's
Yes,
just
sir.
watching this.
No, I was gonna say. So
Piece
as
of
that guy,
wood.
and it's all Arnold's fault. He's just standing back watching.
no. So
He's
as
holding
that
it
guy
up,
goes in the water, the whole time I've been trying to get the wood off the knife, and I didn't get any of it. Like I was like, I like the idea that like as he goes into the water, I get it. I'm like, I did it. And I'm just like,
He's just like, Gareth's gonna be so mad at me if I don't get this off.
I messed up his knife.
All right, Gareth, what'd you get?
I got a 15.
Okay, you slide down this deck, and you scrabble a little bit, just sort of like trying to control yourself before you sort of like go zooming like a slide off this ship into the water. And you catch yourself on one of these like stunted pieces of what used to be a mast. And it almost like jerks your upper body as you like catch your whole weight and momentum. But you manage to stop yourself with enough space to look into this window. And you see the tossed up and ruined remnants of what once was a cozy cabin room that's been thoroughly trashed. There are chairs upside down. The artwork on the walls has been slashed into pieces. There is a hole in the floor that looks 5.5 feet wide.
Oh, another skylight.
Floor light.
And floor light?
Is that what you called it before?
Look through this window just in time to see a figure kick the door open. Arnold, you hear the sound of shattering wood, and over the floating fog and cold water of this harbor, you hear, there's no way my brain stuttered on empty here. There's no fucking way. All I can think of is Ranear Neverember's voice. That's the only voice that's in my head right now.
Dude, honestly, just give up and use your regular voice. I don't think any NPC just has your voice yet.
Is it a new character?
No, he tried that, and I gave him shit.
She gave me so much shit for it. Actually, Garion, so did you at the time. So, like, get out of here with that bullshit.
I mean, yeah. Oh.
All right, you hear the sound of shattering wood. Arnold, you see a black leather armor-bound figure walk out of this doorframe, and you hear a cold voice say, well. God,
in the water, probably.
That's not his voice.
Like, that's a cow.
Fuck.
It's a cow. Like, go back to school.
Yeah, how dare you call me a whale?
Yeah.
I look great.
That's sizist.
So, okay, do I recognize this voice?
You are looking at
none of us recognize that voice.
You are looking
underwater.
God damn it, Diana! Can you get out of here? You're looking at the freshly burned face of Ursula Floxen. I forgot his accent. I'm fucking sorry about it.
Was he the Russian accent?
He's the one with the Russian accent.
Yeah, it was like the best
accent.
bestie, and you just. That was the best accent that you had, and you lost it.
Diana, I think it's important that you know that your mic cut perfectly, so you went ass.
Yeah, you did. It was so good.
Earlier when I talked with him, I kept saying personal, and it came out as anal repeatedly.
Leonimate. Don't fucking...
Just mute yourself while you practice.
Practice. Vodka. Russian. Go.
Russian.
I love his face. Potatoes.
Vodka.
We are going to check this is real. It's a Tenet reference.
What is happening? It was
That's my
great.
second favorite movie of all time.
Oh, he's ready.
Hey, the characters have no personalities, but the plot is fantastic.
If you only had 3 shots, 3 opportunities
We'll die on this
to do this one voice.
I hate it here, and it's very important for me that you guys know that.
Are your arms are sweaty, Mom Spaghetti?
There's vomit on my sweater already. All right.
Can you say that in a Russian accent too?
Please.
There's vomit on my sweater already.
That was pretty fucking good.
That was real good.
That was good. Where was
Arnold,
that
you hear-
5 minutes ago?
Arnold, you hear this door get kicked open, and the freshly burned face of Ursula Floxen appears out of the empty air and says, "I warned you not to step into my business."